Welcome to the fastest 30 minutes in football. Buck Ballou joins us for memories of Run, Lindsey, Run 35 years ago. Plus, we'll remember the 1959 Halloween miracle. We'll also have injuries, fantasy football, and Jeffrey the Ed Schechter picks the Georgia-Florida game, and more.
Play to Win is being brought to you by Toyota, the Georgia Lottery, and John Foy and Associates. Welcome to Play to Win with former Falcons All-Pro defensive end Chuck Smith. Fantasy Football League previews with Adam Brown. Game analysis with Nikki Williams. Play to Win expert Jeffrey the Ed Schechter. Medical and injury update with Dr. Andrew Lalage. And your host, Atlanta sports veteran Bob Neal. Today's SEC report is being brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
Happy Halloween and welcome to Football's Play to Win. Happy Halloween, everybody. And by the way, Nikki is on the set and she's also the face of our pumpkin. How about that? Our technical guru, Ian Feinberg, actually carved that on the pumpkin from memory.
Yeah, that's exactly what I look like after a few too many spray tans. I know what you guys are trying to tell me.
Too many spray cans. Well, welcome to Halloween. By the way, you see all the decorations around the set. We got those from the kindergarten class of Mrs. Goldman at Northside Elementary in Dallas, Georgia.
Oh, we didn't steal them, right?
So what's that?
We didn't steal them, right?
No, we
gave them to us. Thank you.
No, we're borrowed and they will come back. We should tell that to the parents. All right, it's time for the SEC report. Enough of the Halloween shenanigans. Let's look at the slate of games in the SEC this week. A big game there. As a matter of fact, Jeffrey has an opinion about that Mississippi-Auburn game, South Carolina, Texas A&M, of course, Georgia, Florida. We'll talk about that in a second. And the rest of the slate of games in the SEC. And let's take a look, Nikki, at the standings in the SEC because we're at that point now to where everything starts breaking down. And when you look at the SEC East, unless Kentucky pulls some kind of miracle, it's going to depend on that Georgia-Florida game.
Yeah, let's be honest. Some of these other teams are mathematically still alive, but it all comes down to what happens over many, many cocktails in Jacksonville today. Whichever one of these teams win will pretty much decide the East.
All right, let's take a look at the SEC West. And Jeffrey, how about that LSU at Alabama? That's on November 7th. That's going to determine that, of course, LSU at Alabama. What's an early line? How do you see that game early on?
Well, I've heard Alabama's a 6.5-point favorite. That's going to be a bloodbath. That's a good team. Those are the two best teams in the West, and one of those teams will be tournament bound.
You like Alabama in that, though? Is that what you're saying?
Give me a week to think about it.
Oh, he's on the fence. He thinks about this very. He goes to the computers, goes to the software. All right, now it is time for our college football showdown, brought to you by the Georgia Lottery, and of course, what could that be other than the Georgia-Florida game? And Chuck Smith, you are our expert on the football. How are you seeing this game? Quarterback situation, defensive situation, big for both teams?
Well, I think it's going to come down to Georgia's ability to be able to throw the ball downfield. Florida has the #1 secondary in college football, 2 or 3 first-round NFL draft picks. If Georgia can't throw the ball with efficiency, they're not going to run over this Florida defensive line.
All right, that'll be interesting. I want to get Nikki's thought on that, too. Georgia, you've been hearing the talk, I'm sure, all week. We still don't know exactly what will happen, but Mark Richt's talking about maybe as many as 3 quarterbacks, at least 2. Is Grayson Lambert starting? And what does the Florida defense do to prepare for who knows who's going to be quarterback?
Yeah, I think this might merely just be gamemanship on Rick's part, because if he's planning on starting Lambert all along, but he can waste Florida's defensive coach's practice time preparing for Fatone Bauda, that helps Georgia. But then again, maybe Rick is planning a quarterback change. Spookier things have happened in this series.
Right, remember, Fatone Bauda, who is the third-team quarterback, is a dual threat. This guy can run, too.
Very unconventional.
I like that.
So
they
that
need
may
a dual
happen.
threat guy.
He could even start,
like
who knows, because Rick does crazy things at the Georgia-Florida game. And Jeffrey, what do you think about the quarterbacks, specifically Grayson Lambert? Is he just not enough?
I don't think he's that bad. I don't think the receivers get free. You know, the end of that Tennessee game was 38-31. He threw a bomb. It was beautiful, right in the guy's hands. Guy dropped it.
Yep.
And then he brought him down there at the end. I don't think he's that bad. I don't think the receivers are that good. And this thing with the all these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It was that time of year where Rick gets a little confused. Play Lambert and see what happens.
I knew there'd be a Rick shot in there somewhere. All right, let's talk about the Florida offense. Florida's also got a quarterback issue. Will Greer got suspended for the year with PEDs, and now Treon Harris came in. What about the Florida offense?
Well, I think they want him to manage the game, Treon Harris. But I think also he's a dual threat. He can run and he can also throw. But I think in this game, Florida's going to let him manage the game. Don't mess this thing up. We'll play great defense, run the ball, and Georgia's been prone to kind of let things slip lately in the end. So I think they're going to play slow ball.
All right, you stay with us because Jeffrey's going to pick the Georgia-Florida game when we return. And also, run, Lindsay, run, next.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, sweetie.
I'm in love.
Tiene novio.
Boyfriend?
It's a beautiful thing. Finally have enough space.
Por fin uno que la entiende.
He understands her, but they just met.
I'll send you a picture.
The new Toyota Corolla with the style and space you've been looking for.
Good taste.
Now get the new 2016 Corolla LE with a $159 per month lease for 2 years. Toyota, let's go places.
If you've been injured, if you or a loved one have been a victim, if you've suffered, get the upper hand. Get the strong arm.
Protect your rights and get the lawyer who fights.
On your mark, get set.
Punch it.
Get the ride of your life in the 2015 Nissan Altima. With blind spot warning and up to 270 horsepower.
What is not to love?
It's really comfortable. It fits to my body.
Nav, camera.
Choose the 2015 Altima with 0% APR for up to 72 months or save up to $37.75. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Nissan, innovation that excites.
Always set a place at the dinner table for good manners. Stay seated, napkin on your lap, and elbows at your sides. And remember, mealtime is for nourishment, nothing more.
Hometown Team Report is being brought to you by Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers, bringing a higher order of pizza to Atlanta for 40 years.
Welcome to Hometown Team Report. We've already discussed the big Georgia-Florida game. That last Saturday in October, definitive for Georgia and Florida, will be once again. Perhaps the most memorable moment for Bulldog fans, however, came 35 years ago in Jacksonville, and we're going to share it with you again with the voice of the late, great Larry Munson.
Buck back third down on the 8. In trouble. Got a block behind him. Gonna throw on a run. Complete to the 25. To the 30. Lindsey's got 35-40. Lindsey's got 45-50. 45-40. Run Lindsey. 25-20. 50. 10. 5. Lindsey stop. Lindsey stop. Lindsey stop. I can't believe it. 92 yards and Lindsey really got in a foot race. I broke my chair. I came right through a chair. A metal steel chair with about a 5-inch cushion. I broke it. The booth came apart. The stadium fell down. Now they do have to renovate this thing. They'll have to rebuild it now. This is incredible. You know, this game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight? And up at St. Simon's and Jekyll Island and all those places where all those dog people have got these condominiums for 4 days? Man, is there going to be some property destroyed tonight. 26-21. Dogs on top. We were gone. I gave up. You did too. We were out of it and gone. Miracle.
Run, Lindsey, run. Such an honor to be a part of that play. Our team was desperate, and we needed a big play in the worst way to save the season. The play came in, left 76 was the play call. And I knew immediately before we broke the huddle the ball was going to Lindsey Scott. He was our big play guy. This was a big play moment. Had to find a way to get him the ball. Nat Hudson did a great job in protection. Allowed me a little extra time. I pointed at Lindsey hoping he would stop. he did. The linebacker kept moving, gave me a nice little alley to get Lindsey the ball. And when he turned and took off on that Lindsey Scott gallop, I knew nobody in that Gator secondary was going to catch him. And such a memorable moment. I could feel the ground shake and those Georgia fans go nuts. Our sideline ended up in the end zone. Just a great, great moment in Georgia football. What an honor to be a part of that. I'll tell you what, Bob, I'm hoping the Bulldogs won't need a play like that this year to bring back a victory from Jacksonville. What do you think?
All right, Buck Bellew. How about we got Buck in our
Classic.
68 seconds with 680 to talk about the other half of the Run, Lindsey, Run.
I was in my car on Atlanta Highway in Athens listening to it live. Larry Munson, there's no one better.
Nothing
better.
like it. And by the way, now it's time to pick that game. Who are you picking?
Georgia started out a 2-point favorite, and quickly it's gone to 3. By 3:30 this afternoon, it'll probably go higher. I would love to pick Georgia, but these are two different classes. Give the points with Florida.
Wow, okay. Well, the Bulldog fans in Jacksonville will be hoping it goes the other way. However, let's talk now about, in our hometown team report, about Georgia Tech going to Virginia. Georgia Tech coming off that exciting win at the last second last week against Florida State. What do you think will happen?
Well, I think Georgia Tech, you'll see a team that plays with a lot more confidence, Bob. And I think the first thing you're going to see, they're going to open up. This is about Justin Thomas. He has to be able to throw the ball, but I think everything centers around him. He is the cog that makes this engine run.
And I remember back in 1990, Georgia Tech went to Virginia when they won the national championship, had to beat Virginia under Welch, who was the coach, George Welch coach then, and got the big victory. So the teams go back a long way. Tech ought to win that game, in my opinion. But now let's find out what the expert thinks.
Florida State finally got what they deserved. They let a team hang around. They got beat. I think Georgia Tech's going to turn their season around. Give the 6 with the Yellow Jackets.
All right, there you go. Yellow Jackets at Virginia. Now, by the way, I want to remind you of the contest we run every week that's on playingtowin.tv on our website. And it's You Be the Expert, brought to you by Red Pepper Taqueria. We have a $100 and a $50 winner of gift certificates every week on picking a slew of games that are on the website, playingtowin.tv. Now, while we're talking about good things, today's the day. You guys have been so great. Today's the day. Come on, let's bring the Mellow Mushroom people in. As you know, Mellow Mushroom sponsors our hometown team report. And here comes the mushroom. And speaking of mushrooms, they're probably on these burgers here. How about this? Mellow Mushroom has burgers too, in addition to the pizza. And look at Nikki's already got her bib on. Served her one of the burgers. And we've got pizzas too, but you can get burgers at Mellow Mushroom. Guys, thanks particularly to the mushroom, and we'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us on Football's Play to Win. We'll have fantasy and also more predictions.
The Wizard, can you make me real so I can eat real Mellow Mushroom pizza instead of cartoon pizza?
Stand back. Here we go. Alakazam! Wiggity stickity poof!
I'm still a cartoon.
Then that'd be a no.
Everyone wants real Mellow Mushroom pizza because our pies use premium meats and cheeses, fresh veggies, and spring water dough baked with wheat goodness.
Wiggity stickity poof.
Mellow Mushroom, a higher order of pizza.
Right now, there are great deals on 2015 Kias at the 2015 Model Line Clearance Sale with 0% APR for up to 66 months, plus up to $1,500 bonus cash on 2015 vehicles like the Kia Optima, Sorento, and Soul. J.D. Power ranked the Sorento and Soul highest in their segments in initial quality, so don't miss out on this limited time offer with 0% APR for up to 66 months, plus up to $1,500 bonus cash. Visit your Greater Metro Atlanta Kia dealer today.
Tom, let's go. We're waiting for you outside.
Sorry, Larry. Just didn't feel the spark today. So many people that should have won but didn't play.
But this is Fantasy 5. It's even better now. There's larger starting jackpots.
And that new cash match instant win. Thanks for the pep talk.
You have got to stop bringing work home with you.
Point taken. Let's go give someone money.
You can't win if you don't play. So play the new and improved Fantasy 5, now with bigger starting jackpots and cash match.
Today's Fantasy Report is being brought to you by SD Services. Home comfort or plumbing issues? We can fix that.
All right, time for some fantasy football. Who's hot and who's cold? And along with Adam, we have this guy joining us. I'm going to call, maybe it's not a guy, maybe it's a girl. How about Susie Skeleton will join us?
That's cool with me.
All right, let's get started.
Yeah,
First of all, we always go right to the quarterback.
Let's do it with Philip Rivers. Let's start with Philip Rivers in 4 300-yard passing games in a row. And Baltimore's defense is atrocious, 32nd against the pass.
All right, how about Matt Ryan?
This is a slump buster game for Mr. Matt Ryan. I have a feeling he's going to break out of it against Tampa Bay's defense. Has given up 610 yards and 7 touchdowns the last 2 weeks.
Okay, running backs.
I like Todd Gurley a lot this week with 3 100-yard games in a row, and I like Marshawn Lynch against Dallas. Dallas has given up 5.1 yards per carry and 5 touchdowns the past several games.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch knows that and is drooling.
Yes.
All right, wide receivers.
Yeah, A.J. Green, and I have him projected for 6 receptions. Pittsburgh has given up 43 receptions to wide receivers the past 3 weeks. I like A.J. Green and Andy Dalton hook up quite often this week. And DeAndre Hopkins, I have him projected for 8 receptions this week. The reason for that is he's averaging 9 receptions per week the past 4 weeks.
All right, I notice on your weekly 10 that you have a high-value guy listed as a low to medium value, Ben Roethlisberger, who has been hurt.
He has such a loaded skill position set around him with Bryant and Brown and Miller and Bell. He's loaded. He's back. He's a low-value quarterback this week. Pick him up, guys, this week in your weekly fantasy leagues. Jonathan Stewart's another guy I really, really like. And he's giving up 4 rushing touchdowns the past 2 weeks. Ladarius Green's a touchdown machine, 3 last 4 weeks with touchdowns. And we don't talk about defenses enough. The Rams, double digits, 5 of the first 6 weeks, and they're playing San Francisco, who's not very good offensively. And look for the Cardinals this week. They always score defensive touchdowns. And Cleveland's given up defensive touchdowns the last 2 weeks. I like them a lot this week.
Okay, Rams, Cardinals, defense.
Yep.
Once again, Adam Brown and Susie Skeleton. Good job.
Good luck, everyone. Happy Halloween.
And we'll be back in just a moment. We're going to take a look at the NFL and preview the games.
Heating system blowing cold air? We can fix that. Turn to the experts at Carrier and SD Services. We've been installing and repairing heating and air systems in Atlanta for 66 years. Save energy and money with a dual fuel system from Estes. Need to get warm? We can fix that.
American owned, family operated. Since 1829. No bull. Just lager. From America's oldest brewery, Yingling.
We've got unbelievable deals on our remaining 2015 inventory at Mall of Georgia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Take $8,000 off MSRP on a Ram 1500 and pay just $24,205. During the Jeep Celebration event, get a Jeep Cherokee Limited for only $28,575. Take $4,150 off MSRP on a Jeep Renegade, yours for just $17,535. We're Mall of Georgia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Shop for your next vehicle anytime at yourdodge.com.
Bad pipes, clogs, broken water heater? We can fix that. ST's Plumbing Services, your man for all seasons since 1949, will make your plumbing problems disappear. From pesky pipes to new water heaters, we can fix that.
Today's NFL Report is being brought to you by Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
Time for our showdown of the week in the National Football League, and that's the Tampa Bay Bucks coming to the Georgia Dome to play the Atlanta Falcons. I was going to say woeful Bucks, but they've been playing better lately as they come into town with the #1 pick in the draft, Jameis Winston, at quarterback, Nikki.
Well, it depends on which Jameis Winston is going to show up, because in his first 5 games, he didn't even average 2 touchdowns. In last week's loss to the Redskins, he got 2 touchdowns, a career-best 297 yards, completed 21 of 29 passes, and had 0 turnovers. So is it going to be Jameis as of late, or the Jameis not so great?
I'm predicting Jameis as of late. I think that young man who's really smart is moving on. How about the Atlanta Falcons? A lot of people wonder, what's wrong with Matt Ryan? What's wrong with the Falcons passing game? But you say it's not about passing.
Well, it's not about passing. It's about running the ball, running with efficiency. The Falcons just need to continue to run Devontae Freeman, set up, he's doing well on first downs running the ball, but set him up for 3rd and short. I just think the key to this team is run the ball. That'll open up Roddy and Julio, and love me some Roddy White. Leaders lead and always lead no matter what their situation is. I like what he said this week.
There you go. Good comments from a former teammate about Roddy White. Who wins the game and what's the spread, Jeffrey?
Atlanta 7-point favorite. The Bucks blew a 24-0 lead last week. Falcons didn't look good at all, but they should be able to cover the 7 against 10.
All right, let's look at this remaining Falcons schedule. And if you look at it, I'm going to get you to comment on this, Jeffrey. You look at this Falcons schedule, you say, they might be favored in virtually all of these games except for Carolina, who they have to play twice. But you say also be on the lookout for New Orleans.
New Orleans is coming around. Look out for New Orleans. The rest of the schedule, if Atlanta made up a schedule themselves, they couldn't put easier teams in there.
No kidding. So they're 6-1 now, and it looks like playoff city for the Atlanta Falcons. And by the way, since it's Halloween, we wanted to get something athletic about Halloween, and you can't get more athletic than Russell Wilson dressed as Batman. And Nikki, you're going to have to take me through this. Who is that? The beautiful Catwoman he's with.
Catwoman would be Ciara. That is his girlfriend. Also, some people say Sierra. I say Ciara.
I say Sierra.
Okay, you were going to correct me, weren't
potato,
you?
Potato.
Well, I bet you don't know this was for her 30th birthday. It was a superhero theme. And a lot of people had some fun on the internet with that. Someone was like, boy, you better get back to that Batmobile. Your offense is in trouble.
He needs a Batmobile.
Yeah, he matched up those leathers well. The man can put a purse with a pair of shoes.
And you know how women like cars. So the Batmobile plays big into that. We're going to come back in just a moment and continue. And we have, of course, the lightning round, and we're going to replay the 1959 Halloween Miracle.
The Nissan Rogue. With blind spot warning, a round view monitor, and intuitive all-wheel drive that knows just when to kick in. Choose the 2015 Nissan Rogue, just $199 per month, or save up to $1,250. Nissan, innovation that excites. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
Why can't I have a slice of yours?
You're a cartoon. You can only have cartoon pizza.
It's not fair.
Look, this pie is 100% real, and you're colored ink. It's physics, man.
Well, can you buy me a beer?
I can buy you a cartoon beer. Are you single?
It's surprise.
Everyone wants real mellow mushroom pizza because our pies use premium meats and cheeses, fresh veggies, and spring water dough baked with wheat goodness. Mellow mushroom, a higher order of pizza.
In the fraction of time we spend driving in reverse, about 500,000 accidents occur each year, which is why the Infiniti QX60 has world's first safety technology available, like backup collision intervention, which can brake even before you do, to help keep everyone safe. Lease the Infiniti QX60 for $399 a month. Visit your Atlanta area Infiniti retailer.
Tom, let's go. We're waiting for you outside.
Sorry, Larry. Just didn't feel the spark today. So many people that should have won but didn't play.
But this is Fantasy 5. It's even better now. There's larger starting jackpots.
And that new cash match instant win. Thanks for the pep talk.
You have got to stop bringing work home with you.
Point taken. Let's go give someone money.
You can't win if you don't play. So play the new and improved Fantasy 5, now with bigger starting jackpots and cash match.
Today's Player Medical and Injury Report is being brought to you by John Foy and Associates. Personal injury law. Get the strong arm.
NFL injuries and player medical report now. First of all, the NFL injury list. You'll note that Leonard Hagerson of the Falcons is questionable. That means probably not, from what I hear, with a hamstring. Ben Roethlisberger has been upgraded to probable, will probably play this week. But it's really time for the player medical report, which we bring in Dr. A, of course, who's the creator of InsideInjuries.com. And before we get into the player medical report, give us a quick refresher on what the grades and percentages mean for the people watching.
Absolutely. So you see all these grades that I do every single week. So it categorizes them into low, moderate, and high risk, as well as the percentage, which gives you a percentage of 100% that they're going to be potentially performing at. So while using these characteristics, let's look at the first report card. This is on Leonard Hankerson. So he is downgraded to a 60% to a C+, which is important here because he remains in moderate risk category. The next athlete is Josh McCown. Now you can see he's at a D+ at 45%. D plus means that he's in a very high-risk category and should not be started on your fantasy team. The next athlete is Antonio Gates, who is at a B, which keeps him in a moderate to low risk category, which means that you should still start him even though he's at 70%. The next athlete is Jordan Matthews, who went from an A plus to an A minus. He has this hand injury, but not expected to be that serious. He is still in a low risk 80% bracket. The next athlete is Joseph Randall, who's at a B minus at 65%, which is important here because he goes from a low risk to a moderate risk, so you should try not to start him if you can help it. The next athlete is Matthew Stafford. Now you can see at a C plus, which moves him into a high risk category at 60%. And finally, Dion Lewis at a B minus again, going from low risk to moderate risk with an abdominal injury.
All right, Dr. A. And you can take all of those to the bank because the medical class was in session. Coming up next, we'll have the lightning round.
You're going to deny everything, and if you're lying through...
When you're hurt in a car wreck, the insurance company will try anything to deny your claim.
Deny, deny, deny. Whatever it takes. We're not paying a dime.
They'll stop at nothing until they run into the strong arm.
Don't let the insurance company decide what you deserve. Call me now. I'll fight so you don't have to.
Get the upper hand. Get the strong arm. Call attorney John Foy and Associates today.
Before we bought the Toyota RAV4, we searched and searched.
No.
Nope.
No.
But the only one for us was the RAV4.
Yep.
Yep. I guess you just know the best when you see it.
Yep.
Nope.
The 2015 Toyota RAV4. The best choice is the only choice. Get a low 0% APR for 60 months on a new 2015 Toyota RAV4. Toyota. Let's go places.
This is called the Halloween Miracle, October 31st, 1959. Billy Cannon, with LSU trailing 3-0 to Ole Miss in Baton Rouge. He goes 89 yards with the punt return. After this, LSU wins the game 7-3. Billy Cannon wins the Heisman, becomes the first pick in the NFL draft. They call it the Miracle on Halloween in Baton Rouge 56 years ago. Jeffrey, let's get started with our lightning round now. First of all, the colleges. We've got Auburn, Ole Miss.
Auburn found themselves a quarterback. They're going to put points on the board, take the 7.5 points. Southern Cal proved me wrong last week. They are good. California has no defense. They should kill Cal.
Oklahoma State.
Going to be a lot of points. I like the home team. Take Texas Tech +3.
All right, NFL. Start with Minnesota.
Minnesota is solid. I said it last week. I'm going to say it again this week. Pick them. I love them over the Bears. Giants and New Orleans are coming on. They're playing defense. They've got a running game. Give the 3 with New Orleans. Oakland's looking good. I think they'll cover 2.5 at home against the Jets.
And you say you have a bonus pick this week?
Cincinnati is playing great. They had a week off. I know Roethlisberger's coming back, but Cincinnati's loaded. Dalton is having a great year. Take the point with Cincinnati. It's a gift.
All right, how about, speaking of gift, you pick 3 NFL games and give us a bonus, and you love Cincinnati. You liked them at the beginning of the year.
Let me tell you something. My pro picks have been good. Mm-hmm. If the Saturday games aren't so good this week, I'm going to have to go trick-or-treating tonight.
That would be good. That would be scary, as a matter of fact. For Jeffrey and Nikki and Chuck and our entire staff, happy Halloween, and we'll see you next week on Football's Play to Win.
Play to Win has been brought to you by the Southeastern Nissan Dealers,
Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers,
and SD Services.